All right, since it's going on 2 a.m., we might as well keep this thing going because it's tea time now. Okay, so to all of my franchisee entrepreneurs and all of my secured entrepreneurs who know that you need to do a new thing as we forge ahead into 2021 as it relates to your pricing, even McDonald's is encouraging their franchisees to raise their prices, and the franchisees are not happy about it. Get that? All right, let's get into it. You already know that I am Miss Aurorah Dey, and this is the Secured Entrepreneur Movement. So the McDonald's Corporation currently issues what is called a Happy Meal rent and service fee of $300 a month to all of its franchisees. All right. And for those of you who don't know, the McDonald's Corporation has about 14,000 or more franchisees, okay? And they announced to the franchisees that this particular $300 a month contribution will no longer be issued, okay? Because they don't feel that it is assisting them in their growth as they are moving forward. Now, to replace the $300 a month Happy Meal rent and service fee that they have been contributing to each franchisee, they have told the franchisees that they can raise their Happy Meal price by 20 cents if they would like. They have a choice to do that, okay? Because what I did not know is that the franchisees have the option, they have the right to name their price, okay? Which is why by certain location and states, certain things on the menu are going to be higher in some places than others, okay? Now, Miss Aurorah would not know that because I don't frequent McDonald's, but I found this to be interesting. What I'm really content and happy about is that when I do roll through a McDonald's, okay, I'm getting the same thing. I'm getting King David an ice cream cone, okay? And sometimes Miss Aurorah will have an ice cream cone as well. We're not going to get into that in any event. The ice cream cone is $1 or it's €1, okay? So that's the one thing that's consistent. The other things on the menu, I don't know. But I'm finding out that the McDonald's Corporation has been giving the franchisees this $300 monthly Happy Meal rent and service fee to assist in, in the selling of these Happy Meal toys, okay? It's the toys that come in the Happy Meal, right? So the franchisees are saying, we don't endorse this. We didn't ask for this. We don't want this. Why? We already know that a majority of people who frequent a McDonald's, they're really going to McDonald's because it's affordable, right? A majority of people who start a McDonald's franchisee, this is a family-owned situation. These are individuals who, clearly you're not really in it for the money. Clearly you're not really in it for the money because the buy-in is just ridiculous, okay? To become a franchisee in a majority of these franchises is going to cost you more than if you did your own thing, right? So they're saying, all right, you're going to stop giving us this $300 a month. You're saying we can raise our prices by 20 cents. And then the only other thing that you're offering to replace the $300 a month is you're saying that the corporation will spend more money to market. Okay, now how many of you know that even throughout this pandemic, if you drove around, you saw that McDonald's was severely crowded out of all the other franchises, okay? You saw that the line for the McDonald's drive-through was intense, okay? But they're saying that, that Happy Meal thing to bring that to it, they're going to cut the corners somewhere because of this whole pandemic, right? However, they did report that they did see an increase in sales by, I think, 4.6%. Some secured entrepreneur correct me on the bottom if I'm wrong, but I do believe it's 4.6%. That they say in the third quarter they did have an increase, okay? So now, secured entrepreneurs, how are you feeling about, increasing your prices. Now, what I'm going to say in McDonald's defense is that you're telling the franchisee that you can increase your pricing based on the value. See, they've already assessed that, all these people are coming here. We love the Happy Meal. This has been something that's going on for 2 decades. Okay. This Happy Meal rent and service fee thing has been going on for 2 decades. So how many of you know that once you give it, it's hard to take it away? Okay. It's like, don't start giving children things at a certain time of the day. They're going to come back and look for it. So do the animals, by the way. However, what's happening now is that the McDonald's franchisee must now make a decision, okay? Now, we know that during the pandemic, most McDonald's really haven't had a dine-in experience, all right? Everybody has had to come through the drive-through. I even saw a sign on a McDonald's up the street where the truckers could park and they would allow the truckers to walk up to the window and they would be served. And I think that that's just beautiful, okay? And so they were doing that. And then also bearing in mind that corners have already been cut. Hello, secured entrepreneurs. Let's get into this. Corners have already been cut at the McDonald's via automation. How many of you have gone into a McDonald's, and I did this in France, okay? But that was my first experience in France to see this because like I said, I only go for ice cream cones through the drive-thru. However, they have the screens up there, all right? You're placing your order on the screen. And I saw like 3 or 4 people in the back. Somebody was cooking something, and then it was like an Israel experience. How many of you know that the same person who takes your order is the same person who goes back there and cooks the food? Hello. Anyway, it felt like that. All right. The people, they were like, yeah, there was 4 people. There's 2 people who cooked in the back, and there was 2 people in the front. Okay, and you had to place your order on the little machine. And God forbid, and you paid on the little machine too. There was a little thing for your credit card up there. Or if you had some little system, they had a little system there. I didn't have it. But you could pay like that too. And then a little number came out. I was like, wow. And the number came up on the thing. But the number came out on my receipt. And then the number came up on the thing. And I had to be staring up at the board, right? My number come up. One person packed everything. Okay? And then called the number, put it on a tray, and then you went and you picked up your bag. And I was like, wow, this is really interesting. So now McDonald's is saying we still don't feel like our numbers are where they need to be. Okay? We tried to help the situation. We tried to help the franchisees to increase their sales by speeding things up, okay? By creating automation. Therefore, you don't have to pay additional employees. See, that was the trick, right? But now they're saying, well, we still don't see what the numbers are. All right. So the main thing that is really bringing value to families is the Happy Meal. Okay. Now, I don't know about the changes to the dollar menu, but I'm starting to feel, that's about to come on because McDonald's is saying, in their defense, they're saying, well, we have dedicated $100 million towards marketing. We've done that, okay? Because the franchisees are depending on the corporation. We're paying a fee for you to do the marketing. So when you do commercials 24 hours a day, and when you put billboards up and all that stuff, that brings me traffic. And when people see the golden arches, okay, they coming on in here because they done saw what they think is a mouth-watering burger. Okay, chicken sandwich. And how many of you know that this past year they had this celebrity sandwich, and they say, that bought on sales. I don't know what it was. I don't know who the celebrity was. I don't know what that was. But I'm just saying, secured entrepreneurs, comment below. Okay, if you feel as though and if you are a McDonald's franchisee, please let Ms. Aurorah hear from you, because I do believe that this is going to be detrimental simply because we know that the people who frequent McDonald's, they're frequenting McDonald's and they're buying their children the Happy Meals because that's what they can afford, okay? So now you're saying, oh, this is 20 cents more. What about the people who are rolling up to the drive-thru? And I've seen this, they got 4 or 5 kids in the back of the car. Hello, okay? Don't get Miss Aurorah started. That's what I want to say in this video to the secured entrepreneurs at 2 a.m. or something like that this morning. All right? You know, you can find me, Miss Aurorah, at AurorahDayConsulting.com. And until next time,